Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really powerful idea from Apostle Joshua Selman. It's all about something he calls divine favor. Think of it like a spiritual system for getting a supernatural edge in life. The teaching starts with something I think we can all relate to. That feeling that life is just hard, an endless uphill battle, right? Like you're doing everything you can, but you're just hitting wall after wall, relying only on your own strength. But what if that struggle isn't the only way? That's the huge question here. What if there was a system of advantage you could actually tap into, a spiritual principle you could, activate to completely change the game? All right, so let's get into it. This divine system of advantage, what exactly is it? Okay, first things first, this isn't about just sitting back and waiting for good luck to fall from the sky. No, not at all. The way it's taught, divine favor is an active partnership with God. It's your effort, yeah, but it's supercharged with a divine influence that can open doors you could never push open on your own. And this is where it gets really interesting. Look at the difference. On one side, you've got the hustle, the grind, just pure effort, knocking on doors, working for every little thing. But on the other side, effort plus favor, suddenly God is knocking for you. Resources start coming to you. And maybe the biggest one, your background, it just doesn't matter anymore. Access is granted. So how do you actually turn this thing on? Let's talk about the first key to activating this system. And it's actually way more straightforward than you might think. The core idea is pretty simple, really. It comes down to this: you have to ask for it. The teaching is really clear that one of the main ways to activate favor is through direct, persistent prayer. You can literally ask for it. And there are some powerful examples to back this up. You have the story of Jabez, who prayed for his territory to be enlarged, or Cornelius, a guy who wasn't even part of the in-group, whose prayers led to a game-changing divine appointment. The idea is that God can even wake someone up in the middle of the night with an instruction just to help you. The pattern is clear. You take intentional spiritual action, you can get a supernatural result. So what's the big takeaway? It's really a shift in strategy. The message is to minimize all that time and energy you spend knocking on people's doors and instead ask God to do the knocking on your behalf. Okay, the second key is a little different. This one isn't so much about asking directly, it's more about divine strategy. And it's illustrated through this incredible story, which the teaching calls the anointing of Esther. And what that really means in this context is having a special kind of wisdom. So just picture the scene for a second. You have hundreds of women, all competing for the king's attention. I mean, the pressure must have been immense. And every single one of them is using her own strategy, trying to guess what will make her stand out. But then Esther does something completely different. This is the game changer right here. Instead of just guessing, instead of relying on what she thought would work, she went for inside knowledge. She humbled herself and went to Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the guy who knew him best, and basically asked, what does he actually want? And that's the lesson right there. It's so powerful. Favor isn't just about being charming or well-liked. It's about having the wisdom to see and meet a hidden need. It's a spiritual strategy, really, learning to discern what those key destiny helpers in your life truly want or need, not just what they say they want. And look at the result. Because her approach was based on wisdom, not just her own efforts, the favor she got was universal. It was undeniable. It wasn't just the king. It says she obtained favor in the sight of all who looked at her. Her favor was a direct result of her strategy. Okay, so we've got prayer and we've got wisdom, but beyond those two keys, the teaching lays out some foundational principles. It actually calls them currencies, the things you need to buy or access this whole system of favor. And this is a really important framework. Step 1, you have to believe that God is the one true source. But step 2 is just as crucial. You have to honor men as the channels that favor flows through. Then step 3, you have to invest. You invest through prayer and you invest in your relationships. And finally, step 4, you have to obtain mercy for your past mistakes. It's this whole package deal, These are like the non-negotiable building blocks. But there's also a warning that comes with this. The teaching says that you can actually block this system from working in your life. Things like dishonor, or not following the principles of relationship, burning bridges, or just not bringing any value to the table. These things can apparently shut down the very doors that favor is trying to open. So let's say you do all this. You apply the keys, you live by the principles. What's the payoff? What does this promised transformation actually look like in real life? Now, this is a really key point. The proof of favor isn't just about money. It's easy to think that, right? But while that can be a part of it, the true evidence is something much deeper, much more powerful. So, what is the real evidence? It's the loyalty of people's hearts. It's getting access to systems and structures you were previously locked out of. It's doors just opening. It's when those really difficult things in your life suddenly start to feel easy. And it's about finally getting visibility for your gifts. That's the real proof. And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. According to this way of thinking, maybe some of the doors in our lives aren't meant to be kicked down with sheer force. Maybe they're just waiting for favor to come and open them. Which really makes you wonder, right? What door in your life is waiting for favor to open it?